You're listening to the AfterBuzz TV network, now the largest new media platform on the web, and your #1 source for after-show entertainment.
AfterBuzz TV presents Chatting with Cathy. Sit-down interviews with Hollywood's leading actors, artists, and entrepreneurs. And now, your host of Chatting with Cathy, Cathy Kelly.
Hello, everyone, and welcome to another episode of Chatting with Cathy right here on AfterBuzz TV. I'm Cathy Kelly, and joining me, I'm so excited to have our first guest come back to AfterBuzz, Max Schneider.
Yes, indeed. Yes,
how are you doing?
How are you?
Good, and it's been a year since you were here.
I know.
And you have accomplished so much.
Thank you.
It's crazy.
I've been really lucky.
From, you know, your success with YouTube, obviously. Now you're working on some new music.
Yes, indeed.
Being featured at the Grammys.
It's crazy. It was very unexpected.
Yeah. And now you, of course, have your new show, Crisis, on NBC. That is one of my personal favorite shows.
Thank you.
I love it.
Awesome.
Yeah. So let's talk about that first.
Sure.
Crisis.
Yeah.
Last time you were here, you had just booked the pilot or filmed the pilot?
I think we had filmed it. We just filmed it. Yeah.
And you filmed in Chicago.
Yes, indeed.
How was that?
It was very cold, but it's a wonderful city. You know, I had only visited once before we started shooting, and I really got to know the city in the 7-month time we were there, and it's definitely one of my favorite cities. I wish it were a little warmer, but it is what it is.
Yeah. How much time did you actually have to explore, or were you filming most of the time?
Yeah, I filmed a lot of the time, but the way the schedule usually worked is we would shoot episodes in 8-day workday cycles.
Okay.
So I would usually shoot, 3 days out of the 8 days. So the other days I'd either be back here in LA or New York, or I would be exploring the city. So I got to explore quite a bit. But
That's
I treated
a lot of
it
traveling.
Yeah, it was a lot. I flew a lot, but it was worth it. I was trying to do the music stuff at the same time, so it took a lot of Southwest flights. I'm A-list on Southwest now, so that's what matters. But yeah, it was great. I treated the city like New York. I wanted to conquer. I wanted to walk everywhere. Yeah. And Chicago is not a city where you should walk everywhere. I learned that.
It was a really cold winter as well. Negative 10 degrees some days.
With the wind chill, I think the lowest it got was something like -30 with the wind chill or something out of this world. And I had a special face mask I wore everywhere.
Oh my gosh.
It was pretty weird, but it was, I needed it. It was that cold. But I had a whole setup. I had like 7 layers. It was nuts.
Yeah. I'm from Chicago, so I love the city. But I have to ask you, did you have Chicago-style pizza?
Oh, yeah.
What's your favorite?
It's tough. I know. Giordano's
That's my favorite.
The bomb.
Yeah.
You can't go wrong.
What do you get on it?
I like to get like either the meat lovers one or all veggie one.
Okay.
I feel like it's one or the other usually. Yeah. What about you? What's your?
Oh, I'm like a pepperoni and then extra cheese.
Oh, nice.
Maybe sometimes like green peppers, onions. That's good.
It's good
Everything,
stuff.
actually.
Just literally everything you put on it. Yeah.
Yeah. So did you guys get to do anything? I know you were traveling in between shooting, but did you guys get to go out as a group? Because I know you had a really young cast too.
Yeah. It was the way the show's sort of set up is that all of the kids were in one section, so we would all mostly shoot together, and then people like Lance and Rachel, they would be doing something off on their own. We wouldn't see them very much, so I became really close with my friends. Adam Miller, who plays the president's son, Kyle. We have a bromance. We're super close. We go everywhere together. And then my roommate, who was actually on the last show I was on, Halston Sage. Yeah. We hung out all the time. She's a good friend. So yeah, we got to go play. It was nice because Adam has lived in the city for a while, so he brought us to random art shows and things that we probably wouldn't have known about otherwise. So
they cast a lot of people, or the kids were from Chicago.
Yeah, a lot of them were local hires, which was cool to have. Sort of the mix between people who knew the city who didn't, and yeah, for Adam, it was really cool because he, this was his first TV thing. So it was cool to see someone, just getting the hang of it all. Yeah. Which was awesome.
Did you have to give him any advice, or he just caught on real quick?
I mean, I was doing the same. We were both taking advice from, Dermot Mulroney, who's the lead guy, is awesome. We spent the most time with him as of the veteran actors, and he couldn't have been cooler and more professional, and we all learned so much from him. And he took the train everywhere too, and I don't have a license still. I'm getting on it, but I would take the train with him all the time, and it was really cool that he just, he would be down to just hang out with everybody. He treated everyone with respect, and I think that was something we all learned from him. No matter how, you know, how amazing of an actor you are, how high up in the ranks you are, you're always respectful of everyone. And I think that's something everybody should take in from him. Yeah.
And he's had such an impressive career, so
definitely.
working with him must have been really cool for you.
Oh, so cool, yeah.
He actually spoke very highly of you, I have to
really?
say. Yeah, I asked him, I was
man.
like, oh, well, did you learn anything from like Halston and Max? And he's like, no, Max taught me stuff.
What?
So, yeah.
Oh, man. Oh, he's so cool.
Yeah, I mean, they all spoke very highly of you
happy to
and the
hear
rest of the cast. But, I mean, since you were friends with Halston, obviously,
Yeah.
from Nickelodeon, but did you guys get to go to any concerts while you were in Chicago?
Oh, yeah, I
or-
went to lots.
Okay.
I saw The Weeknd.
Yeah.
I saw, what else did I see? I saw a lot of concerts in Chicago, which was cool. Saw The Neighborhood. I had some friends opening for them. It's a great city to see concerts too, because
Yeah.
it's you know, it's a big city, but it isn't New York or LA, so the shows aren't quite as, you know, packed in the industry where like people just really are enjoying the show.
They're there for the music.
They're there for the music.
Yeah.
Which was so cool. So I got to see him. I forget who else. I got to see Boyce Avenue and my friend Megan Nicole. But yeah, The Weeknd and the Neighborhood concerts were really cool.
Yeah.
And yeah, we saw a bunch of art shows. I'm trying to think. I brought my girlfriend to the Sky Deck for our anniversary, and we had a private breakfast up there, which was really cool.
That's so cute.
you.
That's super romantic, too.
It was. I mean, everybody. If you got somebody for an anniversary, it's like the coolest thing.
Yeah.
And we had the whole floor to ourselves, just like a little table set up on the Sky Deck.
Aw.
And just private breakfast. It was really cool.
Did you guys do that thing where you can like look over the platform that's glass?
Yeah, well, that's where they put the table. So you're sitting on that.
That's
You're
scary.
Yeah, if you're afraid of heights, it's not the best thing to do. But
Are you?
I'm not really. No.
Okay.
But I could totally imagine like just standing there. I thought of somebody who's afraid of heights, and I was like, oh man, this would suck.
Because it's what, 95, 96?
103 stories.
103
It's on the
stories.
103rd story, yeah. And it's just right over the side of it. Yeah.
I think I could stand up there, but I don't know if I could have a whole meal.
Have a
up
whole
there.
meal just being like, oh, this is good. Oh my gosh.
Yeah.
Those cars. Yeah, totally.
So, Filming Crisis, I mean,
Yeah.
that's such a huge departure from the Nickelodeon shows that you
Yeah.
were doing. What was it like? Do you think that you evolved as an actor?
Absolutely. I feel like, you know, it was definitely a full 180 from the Nickelodeon world. And I think we all it was good that we would only do 3 or 4 days a week, because if we did every day, I would be so drained. It was a very you know, rigorous process to get into that state, because I mean, you want to make it as real as possible, that kidnapping, and it took a lot out of everybody, but it was so worth it. You know, when we look back at it, I don't think you can do it any other way. And you know, I definitely learned a lot about how to bring that darkness out. I hadn't had that many roles where I had to explore that, and so definitely playing Ian was the first time I really explored the darkness of a character.
And he does get kind of dark. I mean,
Yeah.
further along
Yeah.
in the episodes, he almost tries to kill a guy.
Yeah, exactly.
So, I mean, yeah.
It's intense.
It's intense.
It gets weird. It gets crazier and crazy. But I love that. I had no idea, you know, going in for the role that was going to happen. I thought, you know, I only had seen the pilot episode when I first, and they didn't tell us where it was going to go. So each episode, every week, maybe 2 days before, we'd find out what happens next, and that was really exciting too, because we didn't know what was going to happen next, who was going to die next, who was going to live. And that kind of kept the excitement as an actor to, you know, just give it your all every time. You might be dead in the next episode. You better, you know, give it everything. And I think that also, you know, I think some actors out there, I've definitely done guest spots on shows where it's tough, because you're there for months and months and months, and sometimes I'm sure those people, they feel like it gets a little stale. And I think for definitely everybody on Crisis, they didn't know if they're going to die next, so nobody's getting stale.
It keeps you on your toes.
Keeps you on your toes, and they're like, I better give my best work every episode, because who knows? And I think that's a good thing to do always.
So was it because they just wanted to keep you guys in suspense, or they didn't want to share too much with you as writers, or was it that they hadn't written those episodes yet, and that's why they were giving you the scripts
I think a big thing was that they didn't know either. Sometimes they knew the arc.
Yeah.
You know, the writers are incredible. They always tie everything up. They know what's going to happen, but the specifics of everything comes as it comes. And I think that was great too, because if it had been all set out, I think that certain things that happen in each episode, things, you know, there's some improv moments, there's things that change when we actually shoot the episode. So I'm glad that they would go episode by episode to kind of work off of what happened in the last one. So I think it was a little bit of both, which was great because everybody didn't know it was going to happen.
Yeah.
But I got to say, after, we finished the whole season, and I couldn't be happier with how they wrap everything up.
That's awesome. What can fans expect the rest of the season?
Oh,
I know you
gosh.
can't give too much away.
Can't get too much, of course, but a lot more action, a lot more twists and turns, the usual stuff. It gets better and better. Certain characters you never thought would die, and I think that's, I'm a big Game of Thrones fan. I love, Breaking Bad. I love when you don't. It's always sucks when you watch a show and you're like, oh, that guy can't die. He's the main guy. I love when there's a show where the guy does, and that's amazing because that really keeps the story intact and really makes you not know what's going to happen next. And I think those are the most special shows. So the writers have done a great job of keeping that on Crisis.
Yeah, and you've gotten a lot of great feedback from the show. What's your favorite fan thing that you've heard?
It's been wonderful. I'm glad that people are enjoying it. I think probably my favorite was people really believing the dark side of Ian.
Yeah.
That was a big thing for me, and for that to connect to people was a huge goal, and I'm glad it's happening. That's been cool.
Do your parents watch?
My parents do watch.
Yeah.
Yeah.
What do they think?
They're always, they really like the show. They freak out every time. They're like, "Are you gonna die next?" I'm like, "Guys, stop. Can't tell you anything."
Yeah, I want to know though. I'm nervous. So. Crisis, obviously amazing. Where can people watch that? It's
NBC Sunday nights at 10 p.m. on NBC. Yeah.
And 6 episodes in right now. How long is the full season?
13 episodes.
Okay.
Yeah.
So almost halfway through.
Yeah.
Getting crazy.
Oh yeah. And it just gets crazier. I'm very excited for everybody to see the rest of it.
Cool. So the Grammys. We have to talk about that because I freaked out. I was watching and I saw your video come up. It was a cover of a Bruno Mars song.
Yes, indeed.
When he was nominated. So did you know going into the Grammys that you were going to be on
I had no idea. Literally no idea. And I have some friends that the same thing happened to them and their videos were playing.
Yeah.
Nobody had any idea. I was planning to watch the Grammys. I was in LA. I was planning to watch it, LA time. And suddenly like in my phone I have like 50 texts and I'm like, what's going on? And that's when I found out and it was pretty surreal. I had no idea. It blew my mind. And I was like, what? My mom sends me the video of the actual video, and it was amazing. I loved the surprise of it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So for people that don't know, the Grammys featured every nomination that they had, or pretty much every nomination featured a YouTuber doing a cover of the song. And so, you did Bruno Mars, When I Was Your Man.
Yes, indeed.
Good song choice.
Thank you.
It obviously led to being featured on the Grammys. So who was the first person that texted you? Or you said you just
I just
saw
got
like 50
this
at the same time.
onslaught of texts. I didn't know, but probably my mom. I'm guessing, she's on that stuff.
Yeah.
So, but yeah, it was all at the same time, and like. It was great. It was
That's
awesome.
Cool. So you were with friends when you first saw.
Yes.
What was your reaction?
Oh, I didn't feel real. It was pretty amazing. I teared up. It was really wonderful. A big thing for me, I think, the whole YouTube world, and I think this is said for a lot of those people who do the YouTube videos. It's amazing that you can just decide to do a video like that. It's me and my friend Kurt Schneider did that video, and we were just like, hey, we should do a video of this song. Or anytime we decide to do a video, it's our choice. It's our creative decision, and to have them feature that was an amazing blessing, an amazing lesson in knowing that you should always do what you love and do something because you believe in it. And so that was pretty awesome, just to be like, wow. I called Kurt right away. I was like, dude, did you see this? He's like, no, I had no idea. And it was out of this world.
That's really cool. Thank you. So, in addition to the YouTube songs that you're doing, you're still doing covers, which I know your fans really appreciate, while doing original music. Why is that something that you wanted to continue?
I think that, I always feel like some people, when they put out original stuff, they feel like, oh, people aren't going to take me seriously because I still do the YouTube cover thing. For me, I think I've always wanted to appreciate those songs and make them my own in whatever way I can. And I know that a lot of people started watching my YouTube channel for those things. So I don't want to just cut it off cold turkey. I hope that they enjoy the originals as much as the covers, but I think that, I know some people that just, cut it off and just put originals out because they wanted people to take it seriously. And I think the music should speak for itself. So if people enjoy the covers, I want to give them what they enjoy as well.
Yeah. And you're still working with Kurt, obviously, a lot.
I can't ever stop.
You just did a song with Zendaya, too. How was that?
Oh, it was great. Zendaya's awesome. She's so down to earth. I love her attitude. She's so talented, and it was great. We did this other video together for Coca-Cola, and that's where we got introduced. And then we were like, oh, we should do this video of All of Me because we both love that song. So it's always cool how it happens where it's just like, oh, we both love this song. Why don't we do it?
It's organic.
Yeah, very organic.
How do you usually choose your songs?
Usually they're just by what song we love the most at the time. Sometimes it's how popular the song is, but I don't really like doing that. I like it when it's really about like that song. I mean, I think that's one of the most beautiful songs out there, and I love John Legend, and it's great that it's doing so well as well.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So it's songs that resonate with you or your friends.
Exactly. Totally.
That's really cool. Yeah. So, more about YouTube, I guess.
Totally.
Are there songs that you have not covered that you hope to?
Yeah, there's a few I've been working on, definitely. I'm definitely doing a lot more older soul songs too. I've been trying to bring in. Yeah, I love, some of my biggest influences are James Brown and Stevie Wonder and I actually got to watch Stevie Wonder record the other day, which was out of this world. Yeah. But that's a side note. But I love all those guys, and I definitely am trying to do more covers of their work because I think it very much influences the original music of mine that's coming out. Yeah.
How did you get to see Stevie Wonder?
So I did 2 songs with Pharrell for the album, and
congrats on that, by the way.
Thank you.
Do you have like a pinch me moment when, oh my gosh.
It was, oh my gosh. And again, that was something that really mainly happened because of the YouTube stuff I did with Kurt. His wife had seen the Blurred Lines cover that we did, and that was his initial, like, who's this guy? So
okay, we have to talk about this.
Of course.
Pharrell reached out to you.
Yeah.
What?
It was again, another crazy surreal moment. He's always been one of my musical heroes. I love every song he's ever done, everything from the old JT stuff like Senorita and everything to Hot in Here. Like he's the man.
Back to NERD,
like NERD, of course.
Oh my gosh.
But it came from a few different directions, and the fact that his wife was the final thing was really great, that it was organic in that way, because it's always nice when it really comes from a place of people just being like, oh cool, I'm into this, let's do something together. We had met about like 5 months ago. We just hung out, and he just was like, yeah man, I'm into this stuff, and I was like and I just was like smiling the whole time. I was like, this is one of the most awesome moments of my life, and he was like, that's cool. And we just talked about music, and he had a song for me. He was like, this song I have, I want you to sing it. And I was like, all right, cool. And then a couple months later, we got in the studio together, and fast forward, he was working with Snoop Dogg on Snoop Dogg's new record in the other room while we were doing our stuff for the 2 days, which was also awesome because Snoop Dogg's the man. He just was like, he was the coolest guy. He comes in, he's like, oh, what's up, Max? I was like, what's up, Snoop Dogg? How you doing? So I got, during those recording sessions, Stevie Wonder came in and he recorded some stuff for the album, which was out of this world to watch. I got to see him, play harmonica and sing, and it was a pretty insane moment.
Did you get to talk to him at all?
I didn't get to talk to him too, no. But just getting to watch him for like 30 minutes was like all I could ask for.
Probably a life changer.
Yeah, it's Pharrell's wife comes in, she's like, you want to see Stevie record? I was like, sure, that sounds great.
Your grandkids will hear about that.
Exactly, totally. And the coolest thing about it, I think, was that seeing that he's such a perfectionist, that he would, it wouldn't be exactly how he wanted it to sound, and he would just be like, back again, please. And it was very humbling to know that someone of that legendary status is always working at it. He's always working to make it the right thing, and I think that that's something that everybody always continues to work hard. And those guys don't just stop. Just because he's a legend doesn't mean he stops, So that was cool to watch. Yeah.
So you had 48 hours with him.
Yeah.
How much, did you just try to maximize all of that time, or was it?
Yeah, totally. I mean, I thought I was only in for a day. The whole thing was that I thought the one song we had done, I had recorded it separately from him because he's the busiest guy in the world right now. And so I thought that we were just going to do some notes on it and do some things. But he ended up, listening. He was like, no, I'm into this. Just do this one thing. I've got some other songs I want you to sing. And I was like, okay. And so I just sang a few other songs, and And he was like, "You want to come back in tomorrow and sing?" I was like, "Yeah, cool. That sounds great, man."
You can't say no to Pharrell.
Literally. And he's just so, and you know, I got to know him a little bit more with just in the 2 days, and he's the nicest guy. There's no one more deserving of the success he's having right now. So yeah, it was cool.
So other than him being a perfectionist, what else do you think you took away from that experience?
I think I love his specificity, his details with all of his music. I think that's what makes Pharrell's music so special, is that you hear those songs and it's that little sample in the background that makes it so cool, or those little horns or whatever it is. And getting to watch him work and be like, that drum isn't right. I'm going to go back in and listen to every drum sound I can and then do that. And him adding like a very subtle, you know, just his keyboard has like samples of his own voice too, which is really cool. So he just like throws in a little sample of his voice, and I'm like, oh, cool. And then he records something else live of his voice, and I'm like, this is just the coolest thing ever. But the thing that was the coolest was seeing him really care about the details, because that's what makes his music his music. Yeah.
And so you're working on a full-length album.
Yes, indeed.
But you're also dropping an EP in early May.
Yes, indeed. So I've got the EP coming out May 13th. It's called the Same Max EP. And you know, the album we've still been working on. Of course, this was like 2 weeks ago with Pharrell. So the songs, you know, still need work. And I've been working with some other awesome people recently. A man named Tim Armstrong, who was in the band Rancid. He still is in the Transplants. So a totally different musical vibe.
Yeah.
But we've still been working on. We want to make it right. So, you know, we're going on tour this summer, and I wanted to put out new music that's done already. So I was going to put the album out, but then I decided I want people to hear what we've been working on now, and then we'll give them the album when it's all ready. So that was the choice to put out the EP first. But the EP is just a taste of what is on the album as well.
And the 2 songs that you've released already, they sound a lot more mature than, like, do you think that you've grown as an artist and a musician in the past few years?
Absolutely. I feel like it's happened in a couple different ways, but definitely the music has been, I've really been more influenced by that old soul music that I've been listening to, and I think that that's influenced a lot of the original music, and I think that working with these different writers has definitely brought out a growth in a lot of ways, which has been, you know, I've been really lucky to work with these people to bring out that maturity. Yeah. It's been cool.
Mugshot was featured in Veronica Mars.
Yes, indeed.
How was that?
It was amazing. I heard about it, you know, this was like 8 months ago. Maybe it'll happen. And it's always, you know, I never think it's a thing until it's a thing. And then when I actually, you know, found out it was I saw it in the trailer. That's how I knew. And I was like, wow, this is a real thing. This is, you know, blowing my mind. And it was really special to know that something that I had worked on and loved was used in somebody else's product that they had worked on and loved. Yeah. And so getting to see the movie and hear it in that was just so cool. I'm such a marshmallow, so it was just an honor to be a part of Veronica Mars. Was really cool.
I love that. So you watched it when it was, oh my gosh, totally. I love that series.
It's so good.
I haven't seen the movie yet, and I feel like such a horrible fan, but I have to just sit down and watch it.
The movie's so great. And I think the best thing about the movie, which I went with my girlfriend, she'd never seen any of the shows, and she really enjoyed it. She liked it. And I think that's a great thing that they did with the movie, that whether you have been a marshmallow for 10 years or whatever it is, or you have just started to see the show, or you've never seen it, you can still enjoy the movie. And I think they did a great job of that. Yeah.
How was the concept for Mugshot, the music video?
Yes, indeed.
Was so cool. How did that come about?
You know, the whole process of the song was, it started out with, you know, this is a stick up, put your hands in the air, and then we kept going down that road of this, you know, sort of metaphoric dance song, and in doing so, I was talking with the director Dan Karp, my friend Dan Karp, and we're like, we got to go all the way with this. Like, we gotta
old school Western.
We gotta get some old school Western, because, you know, it had the chain gang reference, and a big influence for that music video was definitely Oh Brother Where Art Thou, which is one of my favorite movies.
Wow, yeah.
And so that was a big.
I see it. Yeah.
It's awesome. So that was a big thing for us. We were like, we just got to go all the way. We got to make it, you know, true to what the song is about. So I was glad I got to make it. All my best friends were in it, and it was really fun to make the video.
Did you have a choreographer for that as well?
I actually just I choreographed it with my girlfriend.
Really?
You know, I mean, the choreography. It's
is she a dancer?
She is a dancer.
Okay.
Yeah.
Cool.
So we had a good time. You know, it's not like choreography, but we wanted to do. You know, I when I originally thought of it, I was like, I want movement that anybody can do, whether you think you're a dancer or not. Just something that's fun to move around to. So it was. You know, that was sort of the influence for the choreography.
It brings that extra energy, even though it's just like little dance like clips. Totally. It's cool.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Awesome.
So the new song, I forget
Streets of Gold.
Streets of Gold.
Yeah.
It sounds like the beginning, I feel like it has like some Ellie Goulding ness in it.
Thanks.
So
That's a
how
good
did
compliment.
that, I mean, that
Yeah.
was for me the biggest song that like I feel like I saw a change in
Yeah.
what you've been doing from before.
Totally.
So who did you work on that with?
That was the same guy who did Mugshot.
Okay.
A guy named Jake Sinclair, who's awesome. He's one of my good friends now. He worked on the majority of the album. There's a lot of songs with him and another great guy named Mike Viola. When we went in, they come from such a different world of music that it was great to combine. I think that brought a lot of that out of me in a lot of ways.
Yeah.
So that was a big reason why I think these songs sound so different, is that I started with this album. I wanted to take the risk of working with producers that were a lot different genre than, more straight down the middle pop that I've done before, really bringing out more of the soul stuff. So they were great and really helping with that.
And there are songs that are going to be on the full-length album that you've been working on for 5 or 6 years, right?
Yeah, one of the songs on the EP is called Darling, and I actually wrote that, 6 years ago now, I think, or 5 years ago, And, we did the produced version about a year ago, but to think that this song has been, in the mix for that long, and now it's finally going to be out there is really a wonderful feeling to know that,
Who do you usually, or are you very private when you write songs, or do you bounce ideas off of your friends, or?
Yeah, I totally bounce ideas off. I like to play it for, my family and friends, just to see their vibe, what they feel. I like it to come from a personal place, but I also think that, those are the people that I love their opinions. And sometimes if I see if a fan comes up to me and says hello, sometimes I'll just play a little snippet of something to see what they think of it.
Yeah.
Because those are people that,
That's
they matter the
crazy.
most. And I think, that's always very important, that it comes from a personal place, but that it is something that you want to see if those people enjoy it, and you hope that they do.
So one of the other songs that you did on YouTube, The Young Volcanoes.
Oh, yeah.
You got to work with Pete Wentz, who I know is another one of your idols.
Oh, yeah.
We're just name dropping people
He's the
everywhere.
man. I love it. Name drop it.
How was that?
Oh, it's so cool. He's also so awesome. He was very involved. That video is definitely very different from a lot of videos we've done. And we were planning it out for, a month, figuring out, he would call me and we would talk about it. He'd be like, I think that needs to be a pizza box. And I'm like, all right, let's do it. And that was great. Just I loved the end product, knowing that it was really such a collaborative process with him, because he is such a hands-on guy. And I think that that's why, not only musically the Fall Out Boy, but with his label and everything else, he's been so successful, because he really pays attention to everything he does. Yeah. So and he was so cool too.
The Fall Out Boy is one of the bands that I grew up listening to back in Chicago, because that's where they're from.
Exactly. Of
but it's cool to hear that he wasn't just popped in for that one little bit.
Exactly. Yeah.
Did he give you any advice?
Yeah, he definitely he told me to stay true to who I am and really be all about the music. And I think that was something that it doesn't matter how many times you hear it. When you hear it from someone like that, someone that's been so successful with it, I think that it resonates even more so. And so that was really cool. And he was just like, keep it cool, whatever.
Yeah. I asked you this last time you were here, but I want to see if the answer changed. Is there... Oh, yeah, it's hot in here. Is there someone's career that you hope to emulate, or you want to pave your own path?
I definitely think paving my own path is definitely a big priority, but I also, of course, am so influenced by... I love the way that Justin Timberlake's handled his career. I love Bruno Mars.
You said Justin Timberlake last time.
I did. Same. I just love... One of my biggest dreams is to be able to do what he does on SNL and go on there, be the musical guest, and get to, have a great time and be the special guest too. I just think that he has been, from what I've heard, I've never met him, but he's such a humble guy. He's so hardworking, and he always keeps his eye on the prize and really cares about his fans. And I think that's something that I definitely take a lot of inspiration from.
Cool.
Yeah.
So you're going on tour
very
soon. Huge tour. I mean, what, 25 cities?
Yeah, I think we're doing 25 cities.
And this is all throughout June, a little bit of July.
A little bit of July. Basically, I think it's in 32 days or something.
And you're headlining.
Yes, indeed.
So what's your favorite thing about going on tour? I know that going on tour is one of your favorite things.
Exactly, yeah. I love performing live is one of my favorite things in the world. I think for a number of reasons. One, you never know what's going to happen. I like that each venue is different, each place is different, the people are different, and I love when moments in shows happen that I try to have it happen every show, but one moment that will never happen again in another show, that it's so special, and I think that really only happens in live performance. And so I'm excited for that. I love seeing fans in person, seeing people in person. It's the greatest gift, because these are the people that keep you going, keep you making the music, keeping you inspired. They're the biggest inspiration in so many ways, because them enjoying it makes it all the better. And
they're the biggest supporters.
They're the biggest supporters, of course. And so I'm so thankful for that, and to be able to say to someone in person, like, thank you for supporting me. And I know there's tons of people out there to support, but I appreciate you supporting me is really special to do.
Do you usually do meet and greets on tour?
Yeah.
That's cool.
Yeah, which is always fun. I wish I could meet everybody, but every time,
You have such little time, especially if you're going to multiple cities.
Oftentimes we're, right after the show, we'll drive from, I think we have a show in San Diego, and then we got to drive to Texas. So it's like things like that.
Yeah.
Then one is like, we finish in Texas, we have to drive to Florida in a day. So it's like an 18-hour drive. So usually like we pick up right out of the show and get out of there. So I try to do meet and greets before the shows and do an acoustic set and stuff like that. Yeah.
What kind of, are you taking like a van or a bus this time around?
We've got something, it's sort of a mix between the two. It's called a bandwagon. They're really cool. They're like bus vans. So they have bunks and stuff, but they're smaller than buses.
Okay.
So I'm excited. I've never taken one before, but it should be cool.
Close quarters.
Close quarters, definitely. It's all like one room, a bunch of bunks, and like a fridge and a kitchen, and But that's the cool thing. I love going on tour with people I really are friends with, and all the bandmates and stuff, because you really do get close. You got to spend hours and hours together.
And who's opening for you?
I've got a wonderful girl named Alex Johnson,
who
we just announced today, which I'm super pumped about. She's a wonderful musician and a great singer-songwriter. So yeah.
And a good friend?
I had never met her before.
Really?
No, yeah.
Okay.
It came through a number of different ways, but when I heard her music, I was like, this is the person. This is the one. Yeah.
Cool.
Thank you.
Do you have a favorite city to perform in?
Oh, it's so tough. But New York's my home, and it's always nice to perform at home. So I would say New York's one of my favorites.
Are you performing in New York City or upstate?
New York City. I'm doing Webster Hall in New York City on June 17th, so I'm pumped for that. And then we're doing a lot of places around, like we're going to New Jersey. There's like a limit of how many shows you can play in a time period for each city. Like, so if you played in New York, usually you can't play, I don't know, right across the bridge or something for, it has to be a certain amount of miles away. Okay. Otherwise I would play a show every night in those places. Yeah.
So I want to know what music you're listening to right now.
I of course I'm listening to all that Stevie Wonder and stuff and all that stuff every day. But whatever, I just I love that song "Fancy" by Iggy Azalea. I was just making a ukulele cover up for it, actually.
Are you gonna upload it to YouTube?
I just might.
Oh, okay.
But what else? I think I love The Neighborhood. Those guys are awesome. I love I think Sam Smith is fantastic. He's the male Adele, and I love, we're very close in age. He's, like a couple months older than I am, and I just love how mature his music is as well, and how much he's gone through in such a short amount of time. Yeah. It's one of my favorites. Any plans
to do covers of his music?
Maybe.
What about some Ed Sheeran?
I love Ed Sheeran. Yeah. He's one of my favorites as well. And I remember I got to he was opening for Snow Patrol like 4 years ago or something, and I saw the show. I went just for him with my friends. We love Ed Sheeran. We're like, oh, this guy's amazing. And we got to we were walking outside, and he was just standing outside, and we hung out with him for a little bit, and we talked to him, and he was the coolest guy. Like, and I've heard, I have some friends that are still really close with him, and they're like, he hasn't changed at all, and I think that's so cool.
And that was probably before he was a household name.
Yeah, totally. So it was it was right. It was before Taylor Swift and everything of that sort. It was just right after he had put out his album, so he was just starting out in a lot of ways.
Yeah,
it's cool.
So this is a tough question, but you have all your music on your phone, and you don't have enough space, so you have to delete everything except for one song. What song do you keep?
Oh, that is so hard. I would say I Feel Good by James Brown. Always makes me feel awesome.
Classic.
I have to. Yeah. I think I'm gonna do it on tour as well. I think we're gonna cover it.
Really?
Yeah.
So is that, how do you decide your set list for
usually, it's all the original stuff, and then we decide like, you know, not as many covers, so what are the special covers I really want to do? And I try to do something like that, which is, you know, one of my favorite songs, and I think it's such a classic and makes you feel good.
Yeah.
And then I try to figure out, usually I want to do at least, you know, one contemporary song, and that's always the tough one because there's a lot of great ones out there, so I'm still deciding on that one. Yeah.
How many songs are on the EP?
There are 4 songs on the EP.
Songs. Okay. And do you know how many songs will be on the album once it comes out?
Probably 10 or 11.
Okay.
Yeah.
When is that expected to?
Probably later in the summer.
Okay.
We'll see. It's still up in the air because we're still, you know, once I get back from tour, I'll probably continue to work on it until it's done.
Have you been thinking of names yet?
Oh, yeah. A bunch, yeah. It's one of the hardest things is to choose a name. The Same Max EP thing it came from the Mugshot song. It has like Same Max, and I don't know, I just felt like that was fun. I read something about, I was like, I want to call it the Same Max Tour, and everyone was like, all right, cool, that sounds good. But the album name, I think for me, is something that's it's such a process because it's got to resonate so much. You know, EP's a taste, but this is like really,
it's your
what does this
baby.
represent? It's my baby, exactly.
Yeah.
So I'm gonna be thinking about it probably till like the day before. You know, like, wait, I gotta change it. This is what it is.
The covers are getting printed. You have to do it.
No, hand, brain, everything.
So you're going by just Max now for music, like just Madonna, just.
Oh, man. I felt like we made it just Max because I really wanted the music to be its own thing in a lot of ways, and I felt like it felt like the artist name that I really felt felt right. So that was really the big reason why we did it.
Yeah.
And it's still my name. That was a big thing. I didn't want to be like Max Mercury or something. You know, my dad was like, you should be Max Mercury. I was like, Dad.
Max with like 4 X's after.
Like 7 X's. I was like, I don't want people to think it's something else. But just Max felt so right, and I ended up, you know, deciding on that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Cool. What TV shows are you watching right now?
Oh man, Game of Thrones. Love Game of Thrones. Breaking Bad was my favorite. Really sad that I wish I could watch it all.
Well, they're
over
doing
again.
the spin-off now, so.
Oh my gosh, that's right. I don't know when. Do you know when that comes out though?
No.
I
I probably should, but.
I know, right? I should too. I love Game of Thrones. I love I'm just starting to watch The Sopranos. I never watched it, so just getting into that one. But that's like you got to get ready for a lifetime of TV.
You got to sit down.
Yeah.
And, yeah.
So I've been thinking about that. I was watching Leverage with my girlfriend, which is, you know, an older show, but like one of my guilty pleasures. Not that but it's an awesome show. I love it so much. But yeah, Game of Thrones is definitely the one that every week I watch. Yeah. And it just gets crazier and crazier.
Yeah.
It's good. Yeah.
So you're obviously very busy. When you do get free time, what do you like to do?
I love a lot of adventure outdoor stuff. I love activities. So I love you know, zip lining and whitewater rafting and stuff like that.
Fun.
Yeah, that's fun.
You can't do whitewater rafting in LA, though.
I know, that's the thing. We went to Costa Rica for my birthday last year, and we did a lot of that. We like whitewater rafted to a lodge in the middle of the rainforest, no cell phones or anything, and then whitewater raft out of there. That's the only way you can get there besides helicopter. Like, I love that kind of stuff. Just for like 4 days or 5 days. Yeah. Then I'm glued to my phone again. But
my God.
It's so nice it's so nice to get out of that and just be able to be like, wow, I'm in the wilderness with nothing. Yeah. And I just gotta survive.
And you went with your girlfriend, right?
I went with my girlfriend, yeah.
So you guys are super cute on Instagram.
Thank you.
What's the most romantic thing that you think you've done for her, other than the Chicago anniversary?
I would say that's probably the most. But I took her horseback riding in Costa Rica when we got there. Aww. And we went to like a butterfly garden thing on the horsebacks. So that was pretty cute.
She gonna go on tour with you?
Yeah, she is.
That'll be fun.
So yeah, she's doing so much stuff too. It's we'll see what happens. I'm hoping right now she's gonna come on tour.
What does she want to get into?
She just started her own YouTube channel. I'm promoting my girlfriend on there. So yeah, she just started her own YouTube channel, and she has guest choreographers and a lot of her friends dancing them, and I'm proud of her. I've always wanted her to do that, because I think that, you know, anybody that sings or dances or acts, I think it's so great to have a YouTube, because it's your security, it's your entity, it's something that you control. And especially in an industry where everything's up in the air, you don't know what's gonna happen next, it's nice to have something that you really can call your own. So she's doing that, and she's dancing all the time. She's really sick right now, so I'm taking care of her.
Oh no.
Yeah.
Are you the type that like brings her soup and stuff?
Yeah, I make her soup and Gatorade and whatever else. You know,
that's cute.
Get her electrolytes up. Yeah. Thank you.
So, moving forward.
Oh yeah.
What do you hope to accomplish in the next year?
you know, I hope to be touring, putting out new music, and then getting to do a project I love being able to act and sing. I get asked a lot which I would choose, and of course I love music and performing live the most of anything, but I love them all. And so I think if I were lucky enough to continue to do the same thing, getting to do Crisis and then go do a tour or something, that would be awesome. Yeah. And I just want to do things that people enjoy and hopefully help people in whatever way I can.
Would you ever consider doing musical theater again, like Broadway?
I would love to. I think it would be a couple years down the line, since I've been working so much on this original music. But you know, Broadway, I've always had my heart there, and I would love to be back in my city and doing some Broadway. Yeah, that would be great. Cool.
And what do you hope to accomplish in 5 or 10 years?
Oh man,
the rest of your life. Obviously, SNL.
SNL, that would be amazing. That's a huge goal of mine. I would love to do that. But otherwise, I hope that I'm really thinking about what I can do in a charitable way even more, like rather than just the little things. I think that's something that I want to figure out and see how can I do my part with what I've been given to help a lot of other people out. So that's a big thing I'm wanting to, whether it's my own charity or really getting involved in someone else's. I just want to feel like I'm a part of something that's making the world better. So.
And you have a great platform for that.
Totally, yeah. So hoping for the best.
Cool.
Yeah.
Awesome. So this brings us to our shameless plug section.
Let's go. I love it.
Talk about Crisis, the tour, EP, all that stuff.
Am I talking to this camera?
Yes.
Hello, guys. Thank you for watching this like 25-minute interview, or maybe you've skipped ahead to this part. Anyway, point being, NBC Crisis. It's on at 10 p.m. on Sunday nights, so either watch it live or DVR. Watch it online at NBC.com. I have an EP called the Same Max EP coming out May 13th. I hope you guys enjoy it. And I'm going on tour this summer, the Same Max tour, and it is June 4th to July 5th. And I'm playing the Troubadour here in LA June 5th, and I hope you enjoy it.
And
shameless
then
plug.
If people want to find you on social media, Twitter, Insta, where can they find that? Max
G as in George Schneider is most of my Twitter and Instagram and all that stuff, because my middle name's George, and I couldn't get Max Schneider. Some little kid in Union Square had it, and I couldn't contact him, so Max G Schneider.
Darn you.
If you know him, have him get in touch. We'll figure it out.
Yeah.
Anyway.
Well, you can find me on Twitter at Catherine Kelly. You can find all of us here at AfterBuzz TV. Please take 30 seconds, subscribe to us on iTunes. Just type in AfterBuzz TV. You can find all of the Chatting with Cathy episodes, along with the other 60 after shows that we do every single week. If you have a favorite show on TV, we probably do an after show. We do the Crisis after show. You should definitely check that out.
Oh, nice.
Max, thank you so much for coming in. It is always a pleasure.
Always.
And I can't wait to see what you do in the next year.
Oh, thank you.
It's crazy.
Same here.
Yeah.
Awesome. From executive producers Maria Menounos, Kevin Undergaro, Phil Svitek, and the entire AfterBuzz TV staff, we would like to thank you for listening to the AfterBuzz TV network. To watch or listen to other after shows and post comments or questions, be sure to visit AfterBuzzTV.com. I'm Sir Richard Wentworth, and this has been a presentation of AfterBuzz TV.
Buzz you later.
The views expressed herein are those of the hosts only and do not necessarily reflect the views of AfterBuzz TV or its owners or principals.